I probably shared this a long time ago, and I mean like months ago, about David Foster Wallace's personal experience with chewing tobacco and his attempts to quit um, the substance. It so it, this came randomly in my mind, and I wanted to read it. Excuse me. And so I'm not gonna read the entire. Actually, I will. Um, I'll I'll start with the. So this is an interview. So there's a interviewer, and then the interviewee is David. And I'll start from the question, part of the question that gets into the point. I want to start about that. When I first met you in New York about 5 years ago, you were enjoying chewing tobacco at a restaurant. That is, you had a dip cup just beneath the table, in which you deposited juice at a regular interval. Do you want to talk about your history with various forms of tobacco? Let's acknowledge first that this question actually preceded the last one, and that you just inserted an artful little bridge sentence in your question text to suggest otherwise. I know you're interested in tobacco and the covert gradual suicide that is habitual tobacco use. My own situation is not all that different from Tom Bissell's, who had some article about chewing tobacco in Tumescent Mail Monthly, or something last year that I resonated with on many frequencies. I started smoking at 23 after 2 years of dabbling in clove cigarettes, which were big in the early 80s. I like cigarettes very much, but one thing I did not like was how hard they were on the lungs and storm and wind in terms of sports, stair climbing, coitus, etc. Some roofer friends back home got me started on chew as a cigarette substitute at I think age 28. Chew doesn't hurt your lungs, obviously, but it also has massive, massive amounts of nicotine, at least compared to Marlboro Lights. This too is all very condensed and boiled down. Sorry if it's terse. I have tried probably 10 times, 10 serious times, to quit chewing tobacco in the last decade. I've never even made it a year. Besides all the well documented psychic fallout, the hardest thing about quitting for me is that it makes me stupid, really stupid, as in walking into rooms and forgetting why I'm there, drifting off in the middle of sentences, feeling coolness on my chin and discovering I've been drooling. Without chew, I have the attention span of a toddler. I giggle and sob inappropriately, and everything seems very, very far away. In essence, it's like being unpleasantly stoned all the time, and as far as I can tell, it's not a temporary withdrawal thing. I quit for 11 months once, and it was like that the whole time. On the other hand, chewing tobacco kills you, or at the very least, it makes your teeth hurt and turn unpleasant colors and eventually fall out. Plus, it's disgusting and stupid and a vector of self-contempt. So, once again, I've quit. It's now been a little over it's now been a little over 3 months. At this moment I have in the gum a mint and 3 Australian tea tree toothpicks that a weekend friend swears by. One reason you and I are chatting in print rather than in real time is that it's taken me 20 minutes just to formulate and press the appropriate keys for the preceding, I guess it's the tap button. Tap symbol, excuse me. Actually speaking with me would be like visiting a demented person in a nursing home. Apparently, I not only drift off in the middle of a sentence, but sometimes begin to hum tunelessly without being aware of it. Also, for your information, my left eyelid has been twitching nonstop since August 18th. It's not pretty, but I prefer to live past 50. This is my tobacco story. So a few things that I want to share. This is so tragic. First of all, you have an addiction. You have an addiction that if you that you don't want to do it. If you try to quit, if you try to quit something 10 times on seriously, it's not just I don't know so I'm gonna try to assume this on all my kind of perspective because I don't know David Foster Wallace. If you want to quit something, you need determination. You need some sort of drive. You need some sort of. It's not just gonna happen randomly, right? You need something. You need a reason to quit, and enough determination to seriously kind of get you there. If you don't, then it's just words. It's just words occupying the space. It's nothing. So, and trying to imagine him try to quit something 10 serious times, something that's either going to slowly kill him, or if you don't do it, you turn into a buffoon. You turn into someone that you consider to be just not good. Can you imagine that? I can't imagine that. If I personally, well, I am. I wouldn't say it's that bad because I've actually I started changing my diet a lot, um, and that's definitely kind of taking its effect on me. But mostly because my carb intake um, has gone down drastically. Also, there have been some other things that I cannot say in the video, but it's not pretty, right? It's the reason why I brought up my situation in the first place was I noticed that I'm not able to focus. I remember about 2 3 weeks ago, confidently saying that I can do at least 2 hours, but now now even 2 hours seem like a huge burden. Just reading and stuff. It doesn't. It's not good. Um, so I'm trying to imagine him who understands a lot of things, who recognizes a lot of things. I think there is that saying. It really depends on personality. The more you know, the happier you get or the sadder you get. Um, but it definitely brings about those two things. It's like hitting puberty, right? If you hit puberty, either something happens to your body and something happens to your mind. Um, but it's either what do you call it? The physical changes happen in a certain way, or it happens on the expected way. So it's either expected or reality kind of thing. Change is gonna happen, but it's either expected or reality, or it can be yeah, interchangeably. The reality could be a lot greater than what you expected, or the reality could be a lot less dramatic as you expected. Um, now, just I don't know. It's ineffable for me to kind of describe how tragic that could be when you have a substance that you are addicted to. So not so just trying to just when you're quitting something, anyone who has suffered from from an addiction, if you're trying to quit something, it not it it's not just okay, I want to quit and it happens, but then you suffer from um, certain repercussions. So this is just one of them. He only talks about how he becomes, in his opinion, stupid, and he explains some of the things that he experiences when when he's not on nicotine, chewing tobacco. Now, obviously, other physical symptoms, I'm assuming, will happen, as it is very natural. Withdrawal symptoms like irritation, insomnia, increased thirst. It could be increased appetite, decreased appetite, mood swings, etc. Now, on top of all that, he has something like this bothering him. It's he says it's the hardest reason. Has anyone ever felt that? Well, yeah, um, it's when you realize something is happening to your mind, right? I think what's scary is when you realize something is happening to your mind and you can't really do anything about it. Physically, if you have a bump, if you have an infection on the finger, you can apply some antibiotics, you can clean it out, you can drain the pus, whatever it is, right? You can go to um, you can go to the medical office, I don't know, primary care. But if it's mind, something that's not tangible, something that's abstract, well, that's scarier because you don't know if it's actually fixed or you don't know, you know? Uh, and imagine going into this mental state where you can't do the things that you normally were able to do. It's not something that you can actively change it. It's out of your hands. It's out of your human capabilities. Some things are just out of our hands, out of our control. I highlighted when he said, and everything seems very, very far away. This is very rudimentary and very crude, and I 100% sure I thought of it in a different way. But here, it feels like patience. Like the what do you call it? The slowing of time. Have you guys ever done planks by any chance? If you do, if any of you guys have ever tried planks, 1 second when you're in the planking position, um, it if you wanna experience each second, then you have to. Plank is probably the easiest way for you to understand how that feels, how 1 second feels. Just imagine that. Imagine 1 second, like how it's pounding on your head. You can't. Time is so abstract, and you can't really do anything about it. Like you want something to happen, but you have to wait an unfathomable amount of time. Can you guys think of can you guys perfectly imagine how long a week would be? I can't. And I would love to hear your explanations. If you guys can perfectly explain in increments of seconds how far, how long a week's time is. Something that is easily calculable as that and imaginable as that is difficult. But doing that for months, years, for the rest of your life, when you're quitting something, that means you're never gonna do them. There isn't gonna be a chance where, 10 years down the line, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try it once. No, you quit it. When you quit something, you never do it until you die. It's a very, very, it's a scary thing. And just how tragic is this? And this is my personal opinion. When you try to do something and you fail, multiple times, they say we are like we adapt well. Humans are very adaptable animals. Like we adapt well to our environment. If you failed something for 10 times with such strong determinations that such with a such with such a strong determination that you want to quit doing something, but 10 times you failed, that's gonna leave a toll on you. That's gonna make you feel, wow, maybe I really can't quit this. Maybe it's just out of my reach, and I am just either doomed to do one thing or the other. Two things I don't want to do, but then I have to make a choice. It's like you have to either drink piss or you have to eat shit for the rest of your life. He describes just how bad it is, how bad chewing tobacco is for him, as in what it does to his body physically and emotionally. He's like, if I, why am I doing this? Am I really not? He doesn't explain it explicitly, but he says self-contempt, which I'm assuming, guilt, um, self. Yeah, if like why you couldn't wait, you couldn't overcome that urge. You know, it's a very common thing in sports. In from what I've read in professional um, players in sports,